Hi everyone, welcome to your July tarot card reading. Thanks so much for being here. I have two quick announcements. The first about my schedule, and then the second about my services and changes to my channel, okay? First of all, if you're interested in booking a private reading, I'm only going to be available the first couple of weeks of July, sort of piggybacking from June, okay? I'm moving to Europe, and I'm going to need a couple weeks to travel there, get settled, find a place, an apartment, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to be, my mind's not going to be in the proper place to be doing private readings. So I'll keep my website up, but if you book, at the last part of July, I'm probably not going to deliver your reading until August. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. Changes to my services, okay? I'm officially undergoing, learning astrology. I'm beginning. I would never call myself an astrologer at this point in time, and I've said that many, many times. But I am going to start offering software generated reports alongside your tarot card reading. So if it's your birthday and you want your birthday solar return snapshot, I'll be able to offer that for you. If you want, your next 3, 6 months or a year-long transit report, types of things that you can expect, progressing reports, all those types of things. Again, it's not my interpretation, it will be computer generated, but it will be an add-on to your tarot card readings if that's something that you guys want. As far as astrocartography, I'm going to be offering a little bit of a service since I am learning and really delving into that realm of astrology. I will be offering some analysis for that as well within the next couple of weeks. You'll be able to book that on my website. It'll be very basic, very simple. It will be very cost effective because, again, I'm not a professional yet, so I'm still learning, so you'll kind of need to bear with me and just deal with the fact that I might take, a more simplistic approach to it and just kind of do some pinpoints and some bullet points for you and that kind of thing. My channel is going to expand and begin to incorporate more astrology as well, because it is truly a passion of mine. Not so much talking about transits and what this full moon means. I think we all kind of have, if you like that kind of thing, you probably have an astrologer that you like already. So I don't want to try to piggyback on anyone else. I kind of want to take a little bit of a different road with it and offer something unique and something very different and something that I hope provides value. But that will come in time as I study and as I grow and as I learn. It will come in time. But I just want to let you know that my channel will be changing. I will likely change the name of my channel as well. And when I feel comfortable, then I will begin to offer private or personalized astrological readings for you, okay? But in the meantime, thanks for listening. Enjoy your July reading. And that's it. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello Scorpio, how are you? Welcome to your July 2017 reading. Thanks so much for being here. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I've already been preparing the deck for you. So let's begin. Okay. Star. What a magical place to begin. That makes me happy. A lot of the readings, I started with Cancer and have been just kind of working my way through. And it's tough. I'm not going to lie. It's been a tough month. And, you have such high levels of optimism. An air of magic about you, if you will. Unusually high. The star represents the sign of Aquarius as well, okay? Sorry, I have something in my throat. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to stop the camera. But it's like I'm sensing a lot of mental activity here, a lot of creativity, a lot of individualism. You may be coming to a point of I really just need to think about myself and not worry so much about other people. I want to tap into my creative side. I want to be doing the things that make me happy. regardless of whatever this other person is doing, or regardless of whatever this situation, however it goes. I'm hoping for the best, and let's just charge forward. And so it's a really progressive place. Threads of fate crossing you, okay? So it doesn't feel like anything's happening. But I think that you are in some way relinquishing control, which is not like a fixed sign to normally do, right? Just to kind of lift up their hands and say, you know what, universe, I'm going to do me, I'm going to be my thing, and I really need you to do the work. But it seems like the universe isn't doing the work, like the universe isn't holding up their end of the bargain. It's not giving you the outlets for becoming truly an individual. And when I say becoming an individual, obviously if you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean that you like completely break up and move out and all of that, but to really tap into that true authentic self of yours, okay? And to not worry so much about the judgments of others. But it may feel like the judgments of others are still affecting you. And, you know, they always say, you know, there was a famous grave, I think it was a writer who was just like a total mess in his life, like addicted to alcohol and sex and everything. I forget his name. I need to remember this guy's name. But he has a very famous gravestone because in spite of all of his efforts to be you know, to not be successful, like he just said what he needed to say, how he needed to say it. And in spite of him doing that, he became very successful. And on his gravestone, it says, "Don't try." And I'm kind of sensing that there's like a very much like a need for not trying, or you're kind of tapping into like, I'm just going to not try anymore. And you're hoping for the efforts of not trying to pay off, but it seems like they're not. You know what I mean? That may have been a really confusing roundabout way of saying it, but anyway, let's just move on. The Seven of Cups. See, another card of creativity. You guys really may be tapping into something. Like there may be, I didn't check your chart, but there may be something going on like where you're feeling a flow. You're feeling a flow of whether it's music or writing, poetry, painting, sculpting. You're feeling it from this very, very inspired place, and you're using your confused emotions about what the heck is going on. You're channeling them into something good, positive, and productive, right? And I'm so happy that there is optimism here, and there is healing here, and that you may be using creative efforts for healing, right? The healing may be seeming like it's not coming through yet, but I think you're doing the right thing. You're in a very positive direction right now, okay? So far, the most positive reading I've done, okay? So you're lucky in that regard. The problem with this energy, though, is that sometimes it can be a little bit selfish, you know, and you can be a little bit like keeping everyone at arm's length because you are protecting your spiritual well-being. And I mean, I think that's okay, and I think that's fine, unless you are expected to co-create or co-inhabit with someone, you know, to have a relationship with someone. That can be quite hard. But if you're single, then this is a perfect time to do that. Perfect time to just not worry, right? Stop trying so hard. Lean into the things that make you happy. Lean into the confusion. Create something from that confusion and just kind of see where it goes. Now, if you're not like an artist or a painter or a writer, this could simply just be journaling, okay? Or it could simply just be doing the things that, you know, that kind of get you in that zone or that Zen state, right? Listening to music even, you know, putting on your favorite playlist and kind of rolling with that. Or, you know, some of you may like ride motorcycles and you want to go and go on a long distance ride or something like that. So whatever it is, it doesn't have to be like physical art form, okay? And the Enchantress of Cups reversed. Because your emotions have, Scorpio, let's lay it out on the table here. You're the most extreme sign. You know, you experience emotions in the extreme. And you are notorious for intensity And it's no, I mean, but I feel like you're kind of moving past that. Maybe you recognize that that was something that, some type of behavior, some type of possessiveness, like you were trying to capture someone, you were trying to capture something. You weren't allowing for freedom in other people's lives, right? And there was not an acceptance of who that person was, or an acceptance that maybe that person is going through their own journey in their own way, right? And it may have gotten you into trouble and caused a lot of dark emotions to surface inside of you. And you know, Scorpios don't have to be dark people. They're one of the most loyal, beautiful, committed people that ever possibly could be, okay? But when someone crosses a Scorpio and betrays them in some way, those emotions go from like 0 to 60 in like 0.5 seconds, you know what I mean? And you are fixed, and all the fixed signs are notorious for trying to keep things the same. They fight against the change. They fight against the adaptability. One of the reasons why fixed signs can often be very, very successful. We've got Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay? Because they keep it going. They keep it consistent in a way that other signs cannot do that. But the emotions that from whatever happened, you know, maybe this is your way of trying to figure out how to give that other person space, or trying to figure out how to have that other person, how to have acceptance that you are two individual souls with your two individual journeys, in spite of your attempts to try to keep them or capture them. Some of you were unsuccessful in doing so, and you're just needing to come to an acceptance of that, okay? Two of Coins, right? Trying to keep all the balls in the air, trying to keep everything going. This can be a very tiring place. A lot of people say this is a card of choice or a card of balance. And I mean, it is, but I often more see it as more facades, you know, pretending. So be very careful of the masks that you are wearing, and be careful of the front. You know, you're putting on a front, you're putting on maybe a brave face of some kind in order to not let people see the pain that you have gone through. It's okay to express yourself, okay? It's okay to not be what other people expect of you. Because you have the star as the integral card of the entire reading, lean into that eccentric side. Lean into that. The word innovative is coming to my mind, that innovative personality. Don't be afraid of innovation in your life and within your relationships, okay? You don't have to be wearing that mask. That mask is very, very tiring over time. But as you're kind of transitioning from a state of extreme emotion and kind of like wanting to control so much that you are in effect losing control, right? Trying to keep someone, and the more you try to keep them, the more you push them away. Or vice versa, maybe someone is even doing that to you, and you are just changing. Okay? It's interesting that I'm reading for Scorpio and I pull out the card for Aquarius because I see those two signs. I don't know why. I've had a lot of private readings with Scorpio Aquarius matches, okay? In my mind, of all the signs and all the combinations that ever possibly could be, to me, the Scorpio Aquarius match is like the most opposite match of what there is. Okay? And so you may even be having to tap into a completely opposite polarity of yourself in order to find freedom, in order to find acceptance of what's going on. Okay? And 10 of Coins. So you're just trying to keep it all together. You're just trying to keep it all going, trying to make everybody happy. But are you losing yourself in that process, Scorpio? You know, my readings, I think, are going to take on, with my study of astrology, a little bit more along the lines of the path of the soul, Okay, just FYI, I haven't said that to any other sign. You're the first sign I said that to, because Scorpio is ruled by like Mars and Pluto, but Pluto specifically is assigned only to Scorpio. And Pluto is that sign of desire. It is the path of the soul. Pluto, the path of the soul. And your soul journey has taken a detour. Okay. And it's uncomfortable and it is unfamiliar. And Scorpio being fixed, trying to keep everything the same, trying to keep everyone in their place and trying to, you know, and it works against you. In effect, you are working against yourself. And in some way, shape, or form, you are transmuting, you're transforming into, like I said, almost an opposite person of who you truly are. Now, I'm not saying you're going to lose the core essence of what you are, but right now the universe is throwing something at you that is forcing you to deconstruct the past structures and systems of your life. Now, this is really heavy, okay? It's positive. I know I'm making it sound really heavy. It's a very exciting reading, okay? It's very promising in the realm of like growth and becoming a better person, okay? And attaining your true purpose of really why you're here. That's your, you know, Scorpio rules the 8th house. 8th house, the house of death, the house of regeneration. You're regenerating from something. Something broke you down. And now you're forced to look within into yourself in order to find solutions and find answers, because outside, externally, your partner, the people that you're dating, they're not going to provide anything to you at this time. The change must happen from within, and that's the most difficult kind, right? 3 of Cups is a card of even like superficiality. It's a card of friendship, a card of socializing and gathering and celebration, but again, superficial, you know. Some of you may even be having casual situations. Some of you may have discovered that your partner is with someone else. You're being cheated on. Like I said, the more you try to hang on and the more you try to keep that person, the more and more likely it is that you are going to push them away. Right? It's time for you to refocus on yourself, because what's more attractive than someone that has self-confidence and someone that has something going for themselves and someone that's creating a life for themselves? You know what I mean? From someone that's just being happy. And to not be so fixated on the material or the having of things, but rather the creation of things. Very different. 4 of Cups. Cups, cups, cups. Cups and coins. Cups and coins. Emotions and reality. Emotions in the mundane. 4 of Cups in your environment. A lot of emotional, like, what's interesting is I'm seeing an opposite happening here. Extreme emotion and not displaying that emotion or not expressing that, being extremely contained. That's a very dangerous thing, a contained, repressed Scorpio, okay? You guys gotta express yourself in a healthy way. And I think that's kind of why the creative outlets will be beneficial for you, because that's your way of expression. Okay, it's got to get out. You got to get it out of yourself. Otherwise, it festers. What she's doing here, she's been coming out for a lot of signs. Okay, you're not the only one. This is actually the card of Cancer. But she is poisoning the river to rid the world of her lover's lover. Okay, so there's an element of poison and toxicity happening here, or there was. But now it's like you're trying to decide, you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity to just choose the right choice. I feel like this is a very, like a pouncing type of energy. It's very calm, very meditative, very, very much the calm before the storm, I feel. Okay, now I'm not saying you're going to have a storm. I'm just saying it's that type of eerily calm, because it seems odd that in the recent past, maybe the recent month or two, you are here, Queen of Cups reversed, poisoning rivers, and now you're not engaging. You're detached. Okay? Reaching toward your individuality and towards creative expression, yes, is good. But to keep things pent up and to store things can be a little bit tricky, because you don't want to explode, right? No one wants to explode. Another, there's definitely some shade happening in every sign. Like everyone, whoever's watching this, y'all need to just watch out for everybody, okay? Everyone is kind of doing this weird, sneaky thing. Your partners are being sneaky. You might be being sneaky. Your friends, your family members, your co-workers. Like there is an air in the month about shade, okay? And the Magician in reverse concerns me. Like I feel like you have suspicions of someone working against you or someone hurting you behind your back. It's very likely true, because this is a card of an illusionist, you know, someone that does play tricks, a trickster, a prankster, someone that intentionally hurts other people, okay? So you're not the first signs to get that kind of vibe or that kind of energy. So everyone just needs to be careful, keep their head down, keep their, you know, wallets safe, like legit, like keep everything safe, protect yourself. And be careful of who you trust. And, you know, Scorpio, you're kind of doing that anyway. You're kind of like really keeping everything at arm's length, so maybe it won't be an issue for you. But seriously, keep your guard up. Keep everything cautious, okay? Eight of Swords. Trapped, suffocation, feeling unable to see, unable to wrap your head around what's happened. Or what is happening. Unable to like figure out how to maneuver. How do you remove yourself from this rock that is surrounded by unruly ocean? You know, how do you get out? And water is a theme for you. Even though this is a sword card, there's water, there's water, there's water, there's water. So you are running deep. There's emotional turmoil going on. Fears and doubts is what keeps you there. You're in your little mental prison right now, okay? I said this in one of my not readings. I did a video called Bali and my astrocartography learning experience, I think is what it is. And I talk about my own personal chart, and in reference to the 12th house of the zodiac wheel, I talk about, to me, how this represents planets being held hostage when they are located in the 12th house. Now, I'm not saying all you have planets located in your 12th house, but the 12th house indicates like the human undoing, right? The untapped powers, right? So if you have Mars in your 12th house, it's likely that you're not a very angry or aggressive person, right? Like you might be the type of person that will just let things happen to them and then get angry about it days or weeks later, you know? And you seem to be very calm and cool, and people take advantage of you and you don't stand up for yourself, like that kind of thing. And I feel like there's some power of yours that is trapped like that, okay? Some power of yours that is being held hostage. Is it your power of expression? Is it your power of standing up for yourself? Is it your power of feeling happy? You know what I mean? Something is holding it hostage. And unfortunately, the swords is thoughts, right? It's your mind, it's your mental processes. So your own mind is holding yourself hostage. That's a very difficult place to be for anybody, because it's very difficult to see your way out. And it's difficult for other people to tell an Eight of Swords person what to do, even though it's very clear from the outside, a third party looking in and, you know, saying what needs to be said, it's easy peasy. But when you're the one living in your life, you've got that tunnel vision, right? You're seeing the world through the colored glasses of your personality and your own interpretation of the events that are occurring. So it can be very difficult to see your way out. So the message there is to not be so contrary. If you are feeling contrary, right? If people are trying to give you their opinions, you know, they're trying to give you things. Four of Cups. There's a party going on in this card. Okay, there's a party, but yet you decide to kind of step away from the party and isolate yourself and just kind of be away from the crowd. You can do that. Or you can listen to what people are saying and really take it under consideration, because it may help you. Just be careful of who you're listening to. Trust is a theme for you, or lack of trust is a theme for you. Okay. Two of Cups. See, there's a connection for you. There is love in your life. There is love and goodness for you. Friendship, relationship. I know you want to maintain that, right? But it seems to me like the very essence of that Two of Cups is maybe what's being held hostage even by the universe, right? It's challenging you. It's not giving that to you. It's not allowing you to explore that beauty, that rich, fulfilling emotional experience that I think that you really truly are hoping for and feel destined to have. And your ability and your capacity to love, I think, has now been soured by what happened in the past. But just because it's been soured doesn't mean that connection is really gone anywhere. It's still here. You're still feeling the effects of that. Devotee of Swords, a card of preparedness, a card of training, of education and learning. You must be as a student of your own life, as a student of your own personality, learning about yourself, learning about why. You may need to unlock the doors in your dungeon and let out the deep, dark secrets, because only then can the healing truly begin. Okay? It is a tough month, everybody, like for reals. It's not even really so much about relationships this month. It's about our souls, which is why I told you that about, you know, my learning astrology and talking about the path of the soul. And specifically for Scorpio, because you are ruled by Pluto, okay? And I have a personal interest in Scorpio because my moon is there and my sun is about to progress into Scorpio as well. But like, Scorpio is a fascinating sign. I'm learning more and more about the sign of Scorpio. But it is important for you to truly observe, okay? And to truly learn and to not be judgmental towards yourself or toward others. And to, like I said, accept the fact that your person of interest has their own life, their own karmic purpose in this world. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you fight, there really isn't anything you can really truly do. Okay? I see this as being a student of yourself, a student of your own soul here, your own personality. I knew Five of Cups was going to come out. I knew it. We have so many cups, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right in a row. Be very cognizant of your desire to hold the past against yourself and to hold the past against someone else. All right, your longing for, or your resentment rather, toward what happened is not going to bring you this Two of Cups. You can't have both. Okay, you can't be looking backwards and have beautiful present. It doesn't work like that. One of the hardest things, and this is a very Christian, you know, gospel or whatever you say, is that phrase, forgive and forget. I personally think that's nearly impossible, but in some ways it's very true. Because if you don't forget, it's always going to have a wedge between the two of you. It's always going to have a wedge between you and a potential new partner. If you can't get over something that happened with your ex, how are you able to invite love into your life? How can you have a Two of Cups when you're wearing so many masks and pretending like this didn't exist? Right? Denial is not the same as forgetting. The thing that's hard with this is, I think, the silver lining, right? Because this is the card of silver lining, right? Of every bad situation, there's always something good, right? You can't cry over spilled milk. It just is what it is. You can't change the past. All these like little bullshit kind of, you know, things. Okay, fine. That's fine. The silver lining, if you will, with the Five of Cups and the Enchantress of Cups below, is that it's an opportunity for you to heal your own internal wounds. And the blessing is it brought something to light so that you can have love. But in this, you are forced to face a demon. Like I said, it was, you went down into the basement, you unlocked the dungeon, and out came the wounds. Like your own little personal Pandora's box, you know? And here you are now having to be a warrior, training, learning, preparing for when this comes up again. And the Enchantress of Swords. So an air quality here. Some of you may be dealing with Libra. This is a card of Libra, but also Gemini and Aquarius. Two cards of Aquarius though, guys. I'm sensing this actually, she's come out a couple times. Couple signs. Maybe you're all kind of connected. She's a very aloof person, you know. Like I said, I'm going to say Aquarius, even though this is the card of Libra. Well, actually, let's go with both, okay? Because air and water, like I said, I think are more opposite than earth and fire. I don't know why I think that, I just do. Okay, it's just my own personal thing. It's the way I see it. Very aloof. And Scorpio doesn't handle aloof because you're already aloof enough, right? And you have the desire to connect, whereas they have the desire to intellectually connect. And emotions are a little bit foreign and a little bit, you know, they need the intellectual stimulation to connect, but the emotional side, they don't necessarily, they don't feel it the way you feel it. Okay, let's say that. And I'm sensing like the blue and the red, again, very opposite, very cold, very warm. I'm not saying you're being cold, but I'm just saying the tones of the colors, very opposite. This is not someone that can be contained or captured. And the moment you do try to contain or capture them is the moment you lose them. Okay? And I don't see them necessarily going anywhere. They're leaning into you, you know. If anything, you've kind of got your back turned toward them. If they did in fact hurt you, okay, I hate to say this, but it's almost as though you need to understand where they're coming from. Be the student, right? Try to understand the motive and what was the true cause of that, you know? 7 of coins. You know what you've invested, okay? You know what you've done. You know where you're coming from, and you know what you want in life. So what you need to do now is to measure what you really have, 7, versus what you want, a 10. Is the expectation too high? Can this person deliver? Is this person ever going to give you the validation that you need? Will you ever feel secure? Or for some of you, will you ever feel secure again? Six. I knew I was getting the 6 of Cups. How is this happening? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's crazy. Connection with the past, you know. But again, 2 cards of superficiality. See, that's the thing that I see with a water and an air. And for some of you may also be dealing with fire as well, because even though she's swords, I do see the redness as well. So it could kind of go either way. So you've got the 2. Again, there's a difficult match, you know. It's a difficult melding of the souls. And if your partner, let's say your partner is also like, let's say it's a Pisces, okay, which is a good match for Scorpio. Let's say it's a Pisces you're dealing with. They just might be taking on this really cold nature right now, this really retracted essence. And so are you. We all are. So it's important for you to keep an open mind and to understand that you can't force the stars to move faster, okay? And your connection right now is only surface deep. It's not this profound thing, in spite of what I know you want it to be and I know you view it that way. I don't think they view it the same way you do. See, 10 of Cups reversed. Pie in the sky, ideal, too high, okay? Some of you may have a partner that just really is not on the same page as you. Like you two are operating on extremely different wavelengths, okay? And now you're being forced to reevaluate. And the Siren, which is the same as the Devil reversed. Releasing yourself from this, oh my God, I'll say it, like the misery, right? Releasing yourself from this. Again, let's come back to the star for a moment, because it's so important for you to become a self, right? And if you're single, that's even more important for you. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but let me explain. Because you may have been using others' opinions of you, or your perception of others' opinions of you, to define yourself, instead of just defining yourself. You don't need to define yourself. We don't need to do that. That's not a thing, okay? We can just be. You know, like, no one looks at a tree and tries to make it something else. It's just a tree. That's it. And we all accept it. So some of you may need to be like looking at a state or looking at a situation in your life. And I know this is a little depressing, and there's a fine line between working towards something and making something work, and then kind of like really accepting when something is just not for you. So some of you are really going to need to be really honest with yourself and not kid yourself and not fool yourself, but also at the same time not give up hope on yourself. Okay, and that's the hard part. What's worth working for and what's worth walking away from. You know, and that's going to be different for each of you. But either way, you are releasing yourself from that burden, from that Saturnian energy. Because I do think that this relationship has become a burden. It has become your karmic lesson. Saturn, karma, the teacher, the old man that slows everything down. It's a drain. It's tiresome. It's boring. It's hard, okay? Releasing yourself from the temptation and the allure of this beautiful Two of Cups, but can you have that? And the Hierophant reversed. I often see the Devil and the Hierophant as two very similar cards, even though one is Capricorn and one is Taurus. Both Earth. This is ruled by Venus, though, but, you know, the Pope, the Hierophant, the High Priest, the leader, but a releasing of that or going against it, working against the systems. Again, the card of Aquarius, all right, ruled by Uranus, going against the grain, against the system, against the machine. Very rebellious. You might be going through a little bit of a rebellious state right now, Scorpio. Wow, I'm going so slow. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm getting so into this reading right now. The Ace of Wands. New opportunities, power, passion, sexuality, you know, drive, and maybe an opportunity for the two of you as well. I'm not sure. It's going to be different for all of you, right? Some of you know that your relationship is not for you, and others of you, you just hit a rough patch and you just got to move. And some of you who are single, there's someone in your life that you're going to need to let go, but they're still here and you're just hanging on to hope, right? So some of you guys all need to reevaluate your own situation and kind of fill in the gaps here. And the Three of Swords. Sadness, sorrow, pain. Yes, this relationship, this connection has caused pain. It has caused hardship. It has caused grief. Okay? But it's the healing side of it. You've already kind of gone through, I think, the initial shock of it. Yes, Nine of Coins. Some of you may have been made single. The Nine of Coins is about value and self-value. See, I'm wondering if that's a part of you that you don't understand, is your value, your worth, what you deserve, what you know, all these things. Six of Coins. Generosity and giving, okay? But it is kind of one-sided oftentimes as well. Be careful of how much you give, Scorpio. Like I said, fundamentally with the reading the star, this is about you, all right? And your hopes and your optimism. Optimism for yourself. Five of Wands. Competitiveness, competition, battles, pettiness, again, superficiality. I would ask yourself if the issues that you're facing are superficial or detrimental. Like, is it really something to get so worked up about or not, right? Really what's important in life, and how does it really affect your journey here on this planet? and the Artisan of Cups. Cups, 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 cups. So much emotion. You're really in your element, you guys. Just don't let it take you too far away, you know? Don't disappear on us. We care about you. We love you. You need to be present. You need to be here. You know, we know you're going through something, but please keep in mind that we are all going through something. We're all going through it together. And, you know, the superficiality actually, honestly, might be really good for you right now. Like, get out of your heart, get out of your mind, go be social, go do things. Help, you know, find ways and avenues to get third-party perspectives if you can, because like I said with that Eight of Swords, it's important for you to like get a grasp of what's going on. Six of Swords. We're getting like mirrored cards. Six of Cups, Six of Coins, Six of Swords, Two of Coins, you know, Two of Cups, all sorts of like mirrored archetypes, I guess, if you will. Your spiritual evolution, you know, two cards of Sirens here. Six of Swords is also a theme coming out for, I think, every sign so far. Okay. Not allowing the immediate promises of comfort and short-term resolution to distract you from long-term or longevity, long-term goals or longevity. Okay, because we all know that the sirens lure the sailors with songs of home, familiar sounds, familiar voices, familiar things that make them happy. Short-term promises. Be careful of short-term promises, okay? Look long-term. Look at the substance of what's going on. Look at the substance of the disagreements and the fundamental differences, okay? Yeah. Artisan of Coins reversed and the Ace of Swords. Not a lot of like cuddly, friendly messages here for you. If you're dealing with an earth sign now, please be careful, okay? Please be cognizant. I don't like the Artisans in reverse. They come out and it's one of those things where they make themselves to be one thing, and they may even convince themselves that they are one thing, but in fact they are another. It's two faces, okay? Be super sharp. This is Cleopatra. Be super sharp-minded. Be super on point. Clarity and knowledge and, you know, understanding are eminent. They're coming your way for sure. You'll have the answers that you're seeking, okay? You'll have the outlet that you need to make a proper decision, okay? But this is not an emotional decision. So in a sea of cups, okay? In a sea of cups, you finalize the reading with the sword, all right? With your mind. So that is, I think, ultimately where the decision is made. Okay. I went on for a long time. Sorry, guys. I'm going to leave you with that. I really hope it provided some insight for you, okay? I wish you guys nothing but the best. Thanks. Bye.